Good evening. Keir Starmer welcomed mayors from around the country to Downing Street today, promising to give them more power. On that, Sadiq Khan has an idea: allow TfL to take control of some rail lines coming into the city. The mayor wants to oversee services run by South Eastern and Great Northern, arguing they've been neglected for far too long. But his critics say this is just another attempt to build his empire. Our political correspondent Simon Harris reports.
London's mayor wants a bigger train set. He already controls the Underground and London Overground. But Sadiq Khan has his sights on South Eastern and Great Northern, and he believes he can persuade the government by using the Overground as a blueprint.
London Overground, when it was in private hands, was one of the worst train operating companies in the country in terms of regularity of trains, cancellations, fares. Now that we run it through a franchise, fares are frozen. Metro-type service, more regular service, fewer strikes, fewer cancellations. We could do the same with commuter trains.
Sadiq Khan joined other so-called metro mayors in Downing Street for a breakfast chat with the new Prime Minister. The government says it wants to devolve more powers to regional politicians like the mayors. But Khan's critics think ministers will be wary of his rail ambitions.
If you look at the way Sadiq Khan has been running TfL, it's all about cutting costs and reducing maintenance and investment. And people on the Central Line, people on the South London tram, they are seeing those chickens coming home to roost. And I think Keir Starmer does not want, any more than I want, the mayor to take the same approach to suburban rail.
Giving Transport for London control over commuter services into London doesn't bring more investment, it doesn't bring better trains, it doesn't bring better signalling, but it does mean we'll have a transport authority that's really focused on the job of getting commuters in and out of London, as opposed to being part of an enormous countrywide set of franchises.
Passengers on South Eastern make 500,000 journeys a day. Not all of them want the mayor in charge.
Shouldn't let him run anything.
I'm happy with it the way it is run at the moment.
It's just all the same really, and it doesn't matter who's in charge. What they're going to do, we just got to deal with it.
Some days it's good, some days it's not. Today was a cancellation.
The mayor's demand for greater control of London's train network is nothing new, but he'll now be hoping he can call on the support of an unexpected ally in the Department for Transport.
On the chair of Network Rail.
In a surprise announcement, Lord Peter Hendy, the chair of Network Rail, has just joined the government as a transport minister. He's a former boss of Transport for London.
We're not saying it's all going to run perfectly, though. We're going to try extremely hard to make it work as well as we can.
And he won praise for the way London's public transport system coped during the 2012 Olympics.
When and where you use the system.
Simon, some friends in high places for the mayor. How useful could Peter Hendy be for his plans?
I think Sadiq Khan's hope is that Lord Hendy, from his time at Transport for London, will be able to make the case in government for some of those big ticket projects like the Crossrail 2, as it's known, the Bakerloo line extension, and above all that much sought after long-term funding deal for Transport for London. He might also be in favour of giving the mayor more control over suburban train services. But I have to say that the reaction from both South Eastern and Great Northern tonight is a little lukewarm. Great Northern points to recent statistics which shows that its services are as good, if not better, than London Overground, while South Eastern suggests that making improvements is quicker and easier under the present structure than it would be if the mayor was in charge.
And what other asks did the mayor have for the government today?
Well, two other big ideas. One is more money for skills training in London, and the other is more money for house building, so the mayor can fulfil his pledge to build 40,000 new council houses by 2030.
Simon, thank you very much.
Our correspondent Simon Harris joins us now. Simon, we just saw that the search there has moved across to North London, hasn't it? What's the latest?
Yes, well, in the last few hours, there's been a large amount of police activity at that cemetery. Lavender Hill Cemetery next to Hillyfields Park in Enfield. The air ambulance has landed. There are armed police in full body armour and police dogs from the air. We've seen a fleet of ambulances parked up and fire crews on standby. Now, the police aren't saying yet that this is linked to the hunt for Kyle Clifford, but it is just a few streets away from a house which was searched earlier. In fact, Hertfordshire Police have not given any further updates on the progress of their hunt for Kyle Clifford this afternoon, but have indicated that there will be an update later this evening.
All right, Simon, thank you very much. We will keep everyone updated with the latest as well. Thank you.
Now, as hundreds of newly elected MPs approach the end of their first week in a changed Parliament, our political correspondent Simon Harris sat down with three of them to talk about the issues they'll be facing in London as our political show, The Late Debate, returns.
On tonight's programme, we'll be looking at what the election means for politics in London and the home counties. I'll be joined by two of London's newly elected MPs, Joe Powell, who's the new Labour MP for Kensington and Bayswater, and Bobby Dean, who took the former Tory seat of Carshalton and Wallington. Also with us will be Conservative Chris Philp, who held on to Croydon South. We'll discuss the rise of reform and the Lib Dems, what impact Gaza had on the Labour vote, and whether London's Labour mayor can expect favours from Labour ministers. And a surprise promotion for three new London MPs straight into government. What pressure will they face trying to learn the ropes, juggling constituency and ministerial duties? That's The Late Debate here on ITV1 after news at 10.